Good afternoon, Captain 670. Good afternoon. My name is Aaron Ross, Cadet Ross, and today I will be briefing you on the Chaplain Corps and religious freedoms in the Air Force. As many of you know, this is a huge interest of mine. Today we will be going over the Chaplain Corps history. What is a chaplain? How to become a chaplain? What is a pluralistic religious environment? How to get involved? A word from a chaplain, and one of my all-time favorite stories, the 4 chaplains. Now, quickly to the video show.
All right, welcome to the Refuge, Chaplain Williams. I'm the chaplain for the 343rd. Go on.
Is there any way I can get the lights? I want you all to enjoy the full.
Being a chaplain is one of the most rewarding ministries in the world. Here it is, you have the opportunity to minister and to influence thousands of airmen, thousands of soldiers, thousands of Marines, and thousands of sailors. I mean, we're talking a pluralistic environment, people with all different types of needs, all different types of culture, race, gender, you name it. Yeah, doing ministry and some things that are just fine. But if you really want to get to the heart of the matter is found with those folks who are wearing this uniform, who are being faced with situations day in and day out, who are being sent down range day in and day out, who need somebody just to tell them that it's going to be all right. And if you join the chaplaincy, you will get that opportunity. Oh God, I thank you again. Peace, love, harmony. Join the nations of this world together in quarrels and families. Coming from a military family, I saw what separation can do. It touched me in a way that caused me to want to be a part of that solution. Riding over on C-130, sitting beside Aaron, she says, you know what, I'm really scared. She says this to me, she says, I'm really scared. I said, yo, he's going to be fine. I was talking to her through it. And at the same time, I didn't know what to expect. This is my first deployment. And so I said to her, I said, you know what? I said, you're going to be fine. She said, that's easy for you because you're a chaplain. And I looked at her and I said, it's easy for you as well because the same God that loves me, he loves you. And the same God that's going to take care of me is going to take care of you. Before we left Iraq, she told me, as a result of the example that I saw you set, not just when you were on that plane, but when you walked around this installation, I have accepted Christ as my personal Lord and Savior. You can't put a price tag on that. These things, you guys, according to your holy name, we can pray. Amen.
You all enjoyed that video. That was Chaplain Williams, or a Protestant chaplain in the Air Force. Okay, so the Chaplain Corps, it's a little history for you all. It was established by the Continental Congress in July 29th of 1775. The first air chaplain of the United States was the Army Air Force chaplain Charles I. Carpenter, appointed on September 18th, 1947. Although the National Security Act was already passed, it was not deemed necessary for the Air Force at that time to have chaplains. Chaplain assistance was established in 1948. I will not be talking about chaplain assistance during this briefing. Quick overview, they just support the chaplain. It wasn't until May 10th of 1949 that the Air Force chaplaincy was ready to be deemed as separate from the Army. Hence, we have Air Force chaplains. Now, what is a chaplain? And we'll start with the Air Force Chaplain Corps mission statement, which is to glorify God, serve airmen, and pursue excellence. Now, what is a chaplain? Chaplains, as one of the biggest things that I've learned about a chaplain, is they are a visible reminder of the holy. Chaplains, directly or indirectly, provide for the free exercise of religion for airmen. Now, I want to emphasize a little bit about what I mean by directly or indirectly. Directly is in the sense chaplains hold religious meetings. You know, a Christian chaplain will hold Sunday service. An Islamic chaplain may hold, prayer whatever time during the day. But it's for the free exercise of religion for airmen. They're there to support airmen, their families, and other authorized personnel. Chaplains actually do not perform duties incompatible with their faith lieutenant, professional role, or non-combatant status. In other words, chaplains don't carry weapons. They can't shoot a gun during the war zone. Hence, they have chaplain assistance for that. And what is a chaplain? It's to meet airmen's religious needs. They're certified clergymen. They can handle marriages, do counseling, handle funerals, and different things like that. They provide religious services for all faiths and all denominations. So, for example, prime example, if you come to a base, let's say you're a Mormon, and you want to speak to someone who's Mormon, the Air Force and the military in general will be able to find you someone to meet that religious need. So all faiths and all denominations. The whole point of the chaplain corps is to support you and meet you where you're at. And one of the most beautiful things about the chaplain corps is chaplain confidentiality. Now, what this is that when you go and speak to a chaplain, you are able to, whatever is spoken to the chaplain stays with the chaplain. And I think that's something great about the chaplain corps. Now, how to become a chaplain? You have to receive an ecclesiastic endorsement. Now, I'm actually currently in this process. I was able to meet a retired lieutenant colonel of the Air Force. He served as a chaplain for 20 years. He was on active duty for a lot of that time. And what you have to do is, in order to become a chaplain, you have to receive an endorsement from a church. So what I have to do was, I'm planning on signing with the Pentecostal church. And he gives out the endorsements for the Pentecostal church. So I have to have a good form of communication with him. I have to, get to know him. I was able to sign a few papers, and he's able to view my grades at Oral Roberts University. And there's different ways in order to do that, but there are different people you communicate with to receive an endorsement from the church. You must be a U.S. citizen. You must have a BA in the field of theology. For example, right now, I'm a theology major at Oral Roberts, and my focus right now is pastoral care. You must have 2 years of religious leadership. My example is that currently I'm from Maryland, and there's a church back home where I was able to receive an internship. It's going to be within my 4 years, and that is able to, and I'm going to be able to complete my 2 years within that 4-year period. And it's the whole purpose of that is for you to understand how a church works, what does it mean to minister, how do you function, how do you deal with funds, what is it like behind the pulpit, outside of the pulpit, the office, the paperwork. You're learning all of that. And it's important to have those 2 years of religious leadership. And finally, you have to receive your commission. The ROTC is a pretty good list. Now, what is a pluralistic environment? Now, the idea of a pluralistic environment, now the military has encompassed this into their doctrine, is to create an environment that is free-range acceptance of all religions, faith, and background. Now, it's a place where it's not necessarily, the military is not a place where it's an evangelistic type environment. A chaplain's not going to come up to you and tell you what you should believe. A chaplain's there to support you, to be there for your immediate needs. I want all of you to walk away with the fact that a chaplain is meant to meet you where you're at, not meant to change you. And as it's written over here, is for the betterment, encouragement, and upliftment for the airmen. Now, I was able to get in contact. Captain Randall is actually familiar with Chaplain Secrets, the one I've been in communication with. She's actually a Southern Baptist chaplain at Tinker Air Force Base. She's one of the most wonderful people that I've ever been able to contact with. And so I told her about what I was doing today, and she actually gave me a few forms of documents that I wanted to share with you all. And this was actually, all chaplains receive this, and it's free exercise of religion and religious accommodations communication, which is basically the order of how chaplains must deal with different religions and whatnot. I just wanted to go ahead and read a few of these things for you. For some of the major points is leaders must ensure their word and actions cannot reasonably be constructed to be officially endorsing or disapproving anything. The Air Force thoroughly reviews all instances when the Air Force neutrality towards religion is questioned. different things like that. Our core values demand that airmen treat others with genuine dignity, fairness, and respect at all times. Each airman is entitled to a fair, scrupulous, and unbiased treatment, which is basically, it all leads back to the fact of a pluralistic environment, the acceptance of all faiths for the betterment of the airmen. Next, she actually gave me this super cool memorandum for all MAGCOM, and it was actually from, I want to say, the last chief of staff. I'm totally blanking on the name. Any of you know? The last chief of staff before General Welsh.
General Schwartz.
General Schwartz. She, all chaplains actually received this document. Thank you, Dad. And this is it. And I just wanted to read a small blurb right there. Chaplain Corps program includes activities such as religious studies, faith sharing, and prayer meetings are vital to commanders' support of individual airmen's needs and provides opportunities for free exercise of religion. This is coming from the top. It's meant to support the airmen. I just want all of you to remember that. They're not meant to change you, they're there for you. And they're meant to support you and be there to meet your immediate need. A few things of just for you all to think about. It's find something to believe in. The Air Force can accommodate you. Find a church, synagogue, temple. If you cannot find a minister, the Air Force will find you one. And we also have something on campus here. It's called the Navigators. Meets on Thursdays. It's a coffee house in East Room, and there is a link for that. Now, a word from a chaplain. I was lucky, really fortunate enough for Chaplain Seegers to send in a quick word to you all for the detachment. And she writes, the Air Force Chaplain Corps is a pluralistic, multicultural environment. As chaplains, we are here for all airmen, indiscriminate of their faith practice. It is our vocation to assist people of faith or no faith, develop and enhance their spirituality. Now, I keep emphasizing this point, but again, it's to meet you at your immediate need. And that's Chaplain Major Seagrass at Tinker Air Force Base. Now, this is one of my all-time favorite stories about the Chaplain Corps. And it's called the Four Chaplains. I'll just go ahead and read this to you. The Four Chaplains, also sometimes referred as the Immortal Chaplains, were four United States Army chaplains who gave their lives to save other civilian and military personnel during the sinking of the troop ship USAT Dorset on February 3rd, 1943 during World War II. They helped other soldiers board lifeboats and gave up their own life jackets when the supply ran out. The chaplains joined arms and prayers and sang hymns as they went down with the ship. One of the interesting things about that was they were all of different backgrounds. There was a Dutch Reformed Church chaplain, a Jewish rabbi, a Catholic priest, and a Methodist minister. And they went down with that boat, arm in arm. Now, it really impressed on me, and I just wanted to emphasize some of the things that I really got from it. When it came down to it, we all shared different faiths, yet we honor each other. These chaplains went down arm in arm, basically giving up, when they gave up their life jacket for those other men on that boat, they basically, it was representation of their faith to give themselves up for that, and they went down with the boat. The care for our fellow servicemen. As future officers, we have to learn sometimes that we have to really focus on the people that are in support of us. That we should work to care for them, bring them to their immediate need. Different faiths, and they stood arm in arm. We all come from different backgrounds and different environments, and we're all the Air Force. And that's something to keep in mind. As officers, putting others first, examples of caring for our men, NCOs, enlistment, field officers. We're all a part of the Air Force. We're all together in this. And they did it for the sacrifice of the greater good. Sometimes we have to do things that we don't necessarily like, or sometimes that we're uncomfortable with, but it was for the greater good. And these chaplains were definitely a great example of that. So now, my overview. I gave you the Chaplain Corps history. What is a chaplain? How to become a chaplain? What is a pluralistic religious environment? How to get involved? A word from a chaplain, Chaplain Seagrass, or chaplains. Is there any questions? Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ross.
also did an excellent job. Okay, we will be heading over to the detachment. We're now going to grab all your things. Box certified, the attendance, get that form number,